Hello folks, and welcome to a new episode of Tech News, this time on the Thursday. This is episode 9. Let's go ahead and jump in. Alright, as always, let's go ahead and start off with some Samsung news here, briefly on the upcoming Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 first. And I didn't get to share this with you guys previously simply because the last Tech News episode was already scheduled to publish by the time this news dropped. But anyway, so it was reported that the upcoming Galaxy Tab S9 will be boasting a larger battery when compared to the current Galaxy Tab S8. Could this mean a design change? Maybe. We just have to wait and see what Samsung comes out with, but I have to be honest with you though. This design here, I think, is still pretty dope. So even if they were to keep something around this look here, I'd still be happy. But anyway, so the battery rated capacity will land anywhere between 8400 to 8500 milliamp hour, so about 400 to 500 higher than what we have now, because currently the Tab S8 is at about 8000 milliamp. So they are likely going to do a redesign of the device, or at a strict minimum, redesign the inside of the device to fit the new battery if they decide to keep this outside design that we already familiar with. But anyway, let's go ahead and hop on to the next piece of news here. There are reports of an upcoming launch of a next-gen foldable, something very trippy. It's gonna be a Galaxy device that actually can be folded into 3, like a pamphlet or something. And I can already tell that that's gonna be so awesome. And you know I'm gonna be first in line to grab one. I cannot miss an experience like that. Just like you know that I don't typically go after these weird devices because of how practical they are. It's simply because it's the bleeding edge of technology, and I get so excited when I see things that are not boring, you know, in tech of course. When I see companies trying things that are new, not staying on that same boring, slow lane type of thing. Now, if you've been watching the channel for a while, you may remember that I talked about this well over a year ago. I think it was like a good year or a year and a half ago, and it looks like it's about to become reality. Anyway, so this pamphlet look-like folding device is set to be launched sometime this year. That's just one of the things that makes me so excited about this thing. But so far, we still have limited information, of course, with reasons. But why don't you tell me what you think of this? Is this something that excites you? You know, I know a lot of people are not gonna go for it or buy it. You know, people are already having a hard time buying the fold. I know some people who are trying the foldable market and they first want to go with the flip because that seems to be the one that's a lot more mainstream. But what do you think about this? Is this something you'll be excited to see, or is this something that you'll be excited to try? Maybe purchase one. Let me know in the comment section. Let's get that conversation going, right? I'm really just curious about what people think of this once this news become mainstream. You know, especially as it relates to like the price, thickness, you know, the users. Obviously we have the fold, which plays that same, you know, phone/tablet type of role, but maybe this would add a third function to it. Maybe it also play the role of a laptop, so it'll be phone/tablet/laptop. I don't know. We'll just have to see. But anyway, let's go ahead and do one last one here, still with Samsung, before we go ahead and switch gears. It's about the next generation of both the Z Flip and the Z Fold. It's been reported that they both will be boasting the same platform as what we have now on the Galaxy S23 series. So we'll be looking at a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 tailored for Galaxy, so Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 for Galaxy, so tailored for this phone to optimize it, just like what we see on the S23 here. And we have some pretty solid renders that already dropped out there that show the back portion of the Z Fold 5 looking just like the Galaxy S23 Plus, or the back of the Galaxy S23 Plus. You will immediately notice that we have those individual cameras, just like it is on the S23 series. Also, as I mentioned last time, there isn't a spot for the S Pen, right? So there isn't a place where you can actually store your S Pen. So I do anticipate that Samsung will have an official case, just like it does right now with the current Z Fold 4, so that you can house the S Pen for the Z Fold 5 outside of the device itself. Another thing to note here is just how compact this iteration of the Z Fold 5 is, or at least the way it looks so far on these renders. The gap that we have here in between the displays on the Z Fold 4 here is almost non-existent on the next generation of the Z Fold line. And it's going to be the same thing with its sibling, the Z Flip 5. One of the biggest, or another one major upgrade on the Z Flip 5 is going to be the outside display. We'll go from that very small display that we already familiar with to a pretty large one, and I think we kind of anticipated that, right? And based off of these renders here, it looks as if the display will offer more functionality and just comfort during use. Again, these renders that are out there are giving us a glimpse of what to expect. In fact, there are even renders of the Flip 5 boasting or showing 2 displays. Now, I don't know how real these are, but we've seen a set of renders showing one large and one small display, both on the same side, looking pretty dope if you ask me. Although I'm not sure why Samsung would add a small display when they already have a large one, but again, we'll wait and see. And if it comes out the way these renders are showing, and let's say the price is still competitive on the Flip, I see even more people going after the Flip line, just like we've seen over the past years. That's the one that's becoming a bit more mainstream compared to the Fold line that I have, or to the Fold that I have here, right? So the Fold line is the one that's a little bit tough for people to accept, but the Flip seems to really gain a bit more popularity among, you know, just the average or the average consumer. And that will be it for Samsung. Now, next year, we have some new reports sharing that the upcoming iteration of Apple's iPhone, so the iPhone 15, will see a price jump. To some people, and let's say few people, this might actually be overdue, but the vast majority of the population, I anticipate, will not take it well. Now, that being said, if you think about it, inflation, everything going up in price, the fact that the iPhone 15 has seen a complete redesign of the device itself, along with other very noticeable improvements, I'm not surprised that this is where Apple is going. Remember, even Samsung raised prices in some of its markets this year, so I can't really blame Apple for trying this if they do indeed, raise these prices. Now, I think this is enough news for today, and I think it's a good point to end this edition of Tech News Monday. I will have more on the next episode, or in the next edition. I will stay updated so that you are updated. Up until that next episode, of course, as always, stay safe out there. All right, let's go. Hello, folks, and welcome to a new episode of Tech News Monday on the Thursday. Did I say Tech News Monday? Hello, folks, and welcome to... Hello, folks, and welcome to a new episode of Tech News Monday on a Thursday. This is... I said it again. Say it again. Bad habits. All right. Hello, folks, welcome to a new episode of Tech News Monday. Hello, folks, and welcome to a new episode of Tech News, this time on the Thursday. This is episode 9. Let's go ahead and jump in. That was good. Let's use that. All right.